All aboard, and hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here. Welcome to our first look at Train Sim World 5 in a while, our first video since it released, and now there's plenty of new content and many new ways to play. Well, today's video is sponsored by the makers of Train Sim World 5, Dovetail, and thanks to them for sending over a key for some of this new DLC too, so I could show it off to all of you. Now today we're going to be taking a look at some stuff in Boston and in the UK, the MBTA commuter rail, and also the West Coast main line Preston to Carlisle. Two routes that I really enjoyed when I was able to play it, so very cool stuff. By the way, you can get this game right now with the link down below in the description. Everything you see will be out, and of course, well, follow the game with additional features and other DLCs with the link down below. You can add it to your wish list and check and see all those cool things because it's available not only on Steam and PC, but on PlayStation and Xbox as well. Game Pass, Epic Game Store, pretty much everywhere where games are sold. Now, a little bit of information here for everybody. Train Sim World 5 and a few DLC items will be featured on PlayStation and Steam sales over the holiday season. So over the next few days and weeks as we enter and are in the holiday season, make sure you check it out. It's a perfect gift for anybody who loves trains. I always say that this is great for grandparents to link up with the grandchildren and talk about the history of trains. And kids love games and grandparents love trains, and it's a wonderful experience for families and enthusiasts and fans who might not know much but really love trains, and that I think applies to me. A little bit more info, by the way, on the starter pack down below for all of you too. You can pick this up for free during the holiday season, so definitely a lot of cool stuff waiting for all of you. So anyway, again, today we're going to take a look at that MBTA commuter and West Coast main line, and it's going to be rainy and kind of wild, so it's going to be pretty cool to be able to almost land a plane in the dark. That's what this feels like, is driving a train during a rainstorm like that has a lot to do with precision, but there's a lot of helpful tools and things in this game in order to teach you how to do that. So anyway, welcome aboard and let's jump in. To the trains we go. Let's choose a route, and this is what we're going to play now, the Boston-Worcester line, and we'll take a look at that actually after the West Coast main line, Preston to Carlisle. We'll take a little look at the West Coast and see what it's like in the UK and some of their trains, and I think this one's actually back in like the maybe the 80s or so. Oh yeah, it says right there, set in the late 1980s. So we'll be jumping back in time there, and then Boston, which is a little more modern here. And this one is amazing. I love the verticality of this line, and it looks incredible. So again, just one last time, everybody, there's a ton of information on Train Sim World in general. Train Sim, 3, 4, and 5. A lot of the DLCs from previous games are available here too. So do yourself a favor, if you got questions, make sure you check that link down below, because there's a lot of good answers for you on older DLCs, later DLCs that have come out recently, and stuff for the future too. So make sure you lock in for more. All right, let's jump in to Train Sim World 5. Very classic here and very big-o. You can see a little wear and tear on the inside. Great modeled interiors, and definitely really good wear and tear here that everything doesn't look fresh. It looks like it's used, as it should be, because it gets a lot of daily use. And yeah, it's really cool that they've not only made the cabin look that way, but also the passenger compartment too. Anyway, let's step outside, shall we? Oh, and you can also interact with everything, opening windows, clicking buttons, picking up, I think, phones and stuff, and parking brakes, depending on if the train has it or not. There's just a lot of cool stuff here. Yeah, look at that. A little rolling barn door there. Oh, there goes the train now too. Nice. Okay, we got ourselves a classic beautiful looking bridge over there, as well as some gorgeous homes too. If any of you commute on these routes, you'll definitely recognize a lot of the landmarks here, and it's quite nice. Anyway, a little thing that I wanted to tell you about is an Easter egg that's present in many of the DLCs and parts of this game, where there are things to go and collect. Sometimes there's like little newspapers or trinkets or other things that are on the station, but here we have ourselves a little cafe, which if you go inside, ooh, look at that, freshly baked bread, I think. If you go inside this cafe here, there's a lovely little waiter ready to, take your order. And if you jump over here, there's like a little mint for you that you can grab, a little mint snack. Ronnie's Cumbrian mint snacks, nice. And then also there's a little castle here too, Carlisle Castle. So there's little models, and if you walk up to these things, it'll give you a little achievement saying, hey, you found it, or whatever. So there's little secrets that encourage you to get off the train, and a lot of different DLCs have things like putting up posters and like refilling maps and brochures and all sorts of other stuff. So not only can you walk fully around all the trains, but also all the stations and platforms and a lot of the interiors too. I mean, not everything, of course. You can't go outside. No, you're trapped in the world of trains. But who would want to leave? Look at even a classic bathroom here. Very well maintained stuff. Very cool. We actually might be back in the past too, based on everybody's outfits and stuff. Like we might be in the 60s or the 70s. I don't know. Sometimes they jump back and forth in time. So obviously these train lines are still here in 2024, but there might be differences to how the stations looked or how they were designed or the outfits that everybody wore. So there you go. So this is just one of the lines, and I wanted to take a look at the map too and share that little experience with all of you as well. So this is essentially what the train line looks like. It's not a full layout of the map, but just basically a simplified route. So there's all the stops along the route, as well as the option to go to some areas that probably are for maintenance. So that's kind of neat as well. Let's see if we can jump over to one of the other views here. I wanted to see if I could pull this one up. I must have changed my buttons for it. But yeah, there's simplified and more advanced maps too that actually show the full route. So anyway, we'll get going with this one sometime in the future. Definitely subscribe to the channel and turn on that like button and all that notification bell stuff, as we'll probably play this more in the future on this route. But let's jump over to Boston. Let's go. Take me home from the ball game. All right, back to Boston now. Good evening. With the bowl game now finished, we were assigned an additional service from Farmingham to get the crowd home. Oh yes. Turn on our interior here. And this is one of the scenarios, just like what we played before, but we're actually going to go through the thing. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. Look at that. Beautiful. Yeah. One thing I love about this map is that you can see our camera going nuts because there's all these support beams and stuff everywhere. This has a wonderfully, incredibly detailed, like highly dense urban area, and I love this map for that. And this is something that I really want to see more in the game, where it's you know, not just medium density areas and cities, but also a lot of high density stuff too, where there's roads running next to rail lines and then highways going over the top of that. It's really impressive. We're going to turn on our generator, pop in the reverser, pop that to forward, pull back our brake to release. You can see the switches there in the computer kind of showing different changes there. Our reservoir, I believe, and a little reflection of that on the screen. Okay, automatic brake is set to release, and let's apply a little power to get moving. We're not going to go too fast, very long. We're going to move at about 10 miles per hour, and then we'll open it up to about 30 before we get to our main station, where we're going to be picking up people at Boston Back Bay Track 7, and we're just going to chill. Now, I gotta say, this game honestly is always in the back of my mind. It really is, because whenever I play city builder games, I always come back to thinking about how things look in Train Sim World, because that's a really realistic look at how real life train stations and routes look. And usually I think of this game, we're ending up a lot in Germany, but I really am happy with where things are now in the United States. Some of the ones on the west coast in the United States are often kind of like you're in a city like Los Angeles, and then you don't really often see much because either you're going through a tunnel or you're kind of in the desert. But Germany and here in the US map and the Boston map have a lot of interesting things to look at. In terms of roads and tunnels and things going over it. But definitely the UK, Germany, and the United States stand out separately. Also have a lot of similarities with how some things look and feel. Sometimes the UK and American maps almost look the same, and it depends on what you're kind of like going for, but it's really neat. And I'm just happy to be here. It's nice to be back behind the controls of a train and having a good time. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and crawl along on this foggy day. I'm surprised the game didn't get rained out. Almost seems like it's raining or something like that, but yeah. Oh, and look at that. Road traffic too. Cars and trucks going back and forth on the highway. Avenues and boulevards. We'll see a lot of verticality here, something that I continue to praise. Again, road right next to the train, bridges and such that'll pass over. And a lot of tunnels that we go through too, where you can see like old iron and other ways that these tunnels have been built to kind of support a platform above, or shops and businesses above. Very cool. And a neat looking train as well. Alright, let's sound the horn, and by the way, let's go ahead and take a look at it from here as it crawls by. Very nice to see that. That's cool. Certainly a nice sound. Okay, we're almost ready to open it up to 30 here in just a moment. Now, for today's purposes, I'm going to be just kind of showing off the train route, the trains and stuff. But when I play on live streams, I obviously am trying to go for more perfect, playthrough. And it's not until you really drive these routes a few times until you can really fully understand how it's supposed to run and get a feel for it through repetition. A lot of people could probably do it the first time, no problem. But this game has a great amount of assistance for anybody looking to jump between trains and without having to learn, like, for example, all the switches and things here, which could be a little intimidating. It's like, where do I see my speed? Where is my, like, what lever is the brake and things like that. Yeah, with the on-screen help in the upper left corner, we can see what our grade is, which means we'll be speeding up without adding any sort of throttle, or how fast we're moving, or what the time is, or if we should slow down. You know, there's a uniform system across all systems in the game that are, German, UK, or American trains all operate differently, and cargo and passengers might operate differently too, so there's a lot of differences that you might have to learn there. And so if you're looking for pro experience, you can turn all of those things off, and it's just awesome. It's really cool to be able to turn all that off and really just know what you're doing and be confident with it, know the signals and things like that. But you don't have to work up to that. You could do what I do too and just kind of like enjoy the tour. And this is great for grandparents to teach grandkids about trains and get everybody excited and involved, and to link generations together. People who've maybe built these railroads or drove these trains, and now teaching their grandkids all about it through a living museum, really. Oh, look at the details there. Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority right there. A little logo on that. Very cool. Alright, well, sit back and enjoy. We're just going to kind of cruise and coast. There's not really anything going to be amazingly cool happening other than all of the amazingly cool infrastructure. This is stuff I love and inspires me, as I had mentioned in all my city builders, which I think is just really neat. Then we're going to go through some kind of tunnely areas, and we have some areas that are almost like viaducts here, and yeah, these stations are very neat too. Very pretty. We're going to pass through this station, and then we've got about another mile to go to get to our destination. Wanted to show you here too, if we jump over to the map, we can see how it's a little different than the British layout, which was kind of just straight up and down, almost like a T shape. But this is the whole extent of the Boston line, from Boston south all the way to Worcester. So there's quite a distance to go, and you can see all the curves and things there. And there's also I think there's a simplified map look at that too, or I'm thinking of maps that I've seen myself. Look at all that ironwork, man. That's cool. I really like that. Something weird about this, like we're going into a coal mine. Something. Turn off the interior light too, so we can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. Kind of neat. I know a few of my friends are really into trains, and are thinking about starting to get peripherals and or like, controllers that are more than mouse and keyboard to play these games too. And I think it's a market that absolutely is ready to be tapped, with all the people really getting into a lot more in train simulators. People who maybe set up a train line in a city builder or a factory building game and then wonder how things are actually done and how you would realistically drive a train and want to learn themselves through stuff like this. Cool to see everything linked together. Oh, see a couple bushes growing up there through the highway. That's probably realistic, honestly. I've seen those Boston roads. Prudential. And we're just coasting by all the houses. Oh, there seems to be the stadium. So it's about time for us to stop. Now we can stop pretty quickly with this train. So we're going to slide right in just like a glove. We'll go for full application. Ooh, look at that. Nice. Okay, unlock doors on the left. And we'll be able to see everybody getting on. Pretty thin platform right there towards the end, isn't it? Very narrow. Alright, almost done loading with passengers. Everybody's leaving the big game, I guess. Not seeing a lot of people really on the platforms, though. They must have rushed for the train. But a lot of the times in this game, actual passenger traffic isn't really simulated. It's kind of like acted on and pretend, and that's totally fine with me. The only thing I want to see is when it's snowing or raining, I want to see people with umbrellas and coats, and that is something you'll see in this game too. Alright, on to Boston Landing Track 2. Good idea to remove the brake. That does help when you're trying to go forward. Pro tip. Alright, let's go. Now we're going to head towards Boston Landing Track 2. Let me make sure this is full release. That gets a little tricky there when we set that to release. There we go. All the way down. Behave now. And we'll be on our way. Okay, so Boston Landing Track 2. A little further into that map now, and our speed limit will probably maintain around 30 for a little while. And now we get to leave. Yeah, I like the look of this station. It's very cool how this looks. And stairs and elevators for people to get down. Another thing to consider is that here on the train it says speed limit 40, and on our system in the upper left corner it says 30 miles per hour. So I think that'll be going up to 40. On the right side we see our distance marker that says 0.9 miles to the next signal, and then things will be going up to 45, it looks like. Look at how dirty the windshield is. We can't really see much at all now, can we? I would like it for some of these scenarios if we could change the weather. Some of them are weather dependent, like it'll be called, like, you know, blizzard rush or something, and you'll be hauling a you know, a coal train or something, delivering coal to a power plant in a blizzard. And that makes sense that the weather would be part of this scenario. But sometimes I just want to see more of the city and do whatever the mission may be. I love these scenarios, though. I'm happy that they've continued to do them, and that there's so many of them per, you know, each new route. Usually, sometimes they may come with the maybe they come with new things like aggregate and whatnot. Like if you get new freight line stuff, maybe. Oh, and it is starting to rain. Wow, the Game almost got canceled there. Alright, let's find our wipers here. Slow our throttle down a little bit while I try to find those. And let's see. There's our heating there. Wait, look at that. Let's see, TMS. Oh, we got sand here too. Nice. I believe there's a hotkey for this, but I'd like to find it on my own. There's our wipers there. We'll turn those to high. Boy, I can't see a single thing. And now we can open it up. 280. Alright, pull back on those wipers a little bit. Ah, there we go. See? People with umbrellas. Love to see it. And a lot more people here today. Okay. Open on our right side. Oh. That door going. Oh, sir, I'm so. Whoa, people. Oh boy. Yeah, that happens. They'll figure it out. They're fine. Yeah. Whoa, okay. You see? Wow. See? Okay. That guy figured it out. Well, this one was quite precise. The previous station looked like we had about maybe 20 feet forward and back. This one is like no joke. But that's what I'm saying about the simulation where they're actors. Like it's not really causing a problem. This is kind of a. It's a simulation. It simulates a simulation. That's cool though. You get the caution doors are closing thing. Yeah, we'll try a little better next time. Hey, it's very hard to see here. And it's our first time on this line. I've not really done this before, other than being familiar with this train. So there's that. Alright, 3.4 miles to go to our next destination. Let's get going then. So Newtonville's where we're going next. I wonder if this weather will clear up. Something that they added recently in the previous games is more dynamic weather. So rather than it just raining the whole time, or snowing, or being a clear day, it can go from clear to raining to back to clear within a matter of like an hour or so. Or less, depending on how you have things set. Alright, 63 for our speed limit now. But you can still see the highway next to us. Alright, almost to 60. Almost there. Oh, the sound of that train is nice. Woo. Very chill. So now an even more challenging stop. I feel like the weather's getting worse. 2.2 miles. Looks cool outside. That's a cool shot right there with that lady in that umbrella. Really helps you to see how big these trains really are. I mean, that's gargantuan. Look at that. And we got the double decker going too. Pretty standard of the Dutch trains that I've been on as well. And that's another thing that'll be coming to this game soon is new nations, new locations, and certainly I think the most popular are the United States, UK, and Germany, but it is always a treat whenever we get something that's Canada or Switzerland or I think soon Japan. And then also, of course, the Mediterranean as well, I think between France and Italy, question mark? But yeah, there's a Mediterranean train too. Speed up a little bit more again. Only got to go about a mile, not too far. Oh, look at that. That was interesting. Some graffiti that was painted over. That's cool. Yeah, we're not even going to be able to get up to 50. This is a great route. And I love the challenge of this rain, and I can't wait to see it without the rain, too. Playing some of the other scenarios will be quite fun. Some of them have you going a longer distance, but then again, remember, with the whole timetables and other settings, you can basically do whatever you want in whatever weather at any season that you'd like. This one's just kind of fun because we're picking up passengers and dropping them off from the game. And even though people are getting, I'm assuming people are like mostly getting off the train, but of course some people could get on and go a couple miles, whatever they wanted. I learned my lesson this first time. We're crawling in now. I love this. We've been up against the highway the whole time. I had no idea this route, at least so far, has gone this way. It's Highland Street, Newton, I think, there. And we're just going to crawl into the next stop. Very cool. So they must put in all these pretty accurate traffic signs along. This is the most amount of traffic signs I think I've seen in the game, since this follows a highway for most of the route with exits. I think you also see this maybe in any of the trains in Los Angeles, that they will follow roads like this, but they're usually surface streets and you don't see a large highway sign over it. Oh, look at how high up we are. That's great. That's cool. Alright, let's just go full application. Unlock left. And after this scenario will be graded, and I think the grading in Train Sim World 5 is a little more harsh, and that's a good thing. I thought it was rather easy before, and that was considering all the help on screen that I have. But I think the game now has a much more diverse level of, you know, challenges that force you to it's oftentimes about maintaining a particular speed, and, you know, not going right up to the speed limit, not going over, and then doing those precise stops. And that's really to just maintain safety and then make sure you get there as fast but as safely as possible. That's pretty much the goal of almost every passenger scenario. Sometimes with cargo, it's, you know, kind of the same thing, being fast too, but it doesn't feel as urgent. It just feels like get this done as quickly as possible versus, you know, the different cargo. One is people and one is freight. This feels different. Wow, did you see that? Wow, that lady put her umbrella down and then closed the umbrella. That's crazy. They'll actually close their umbrellas when they're into an area that is more dry. Look at that. That guy closed the umbrella. That's awesome. Wow, umbrella physics, man. That's why you get this game. Some of these people don't have umbrellas. Wow. Alright, just a mile to go now. To Auburndale. Well, I don't even know if I'm going to get up to 30 miles an hour. Look at that parking lot, too. It looked pretty flooded. This has got to be my favorite route of all time. I'm making the decision now that the urban environment here is just gorgeous. It's kind of like this in California, too, but there's just something here about the East Coast that's just, I don't know. Sorry, West Coast, but these East Coast homes and, like, you know, the history of Boston in the United States, you know, history is just impressive. Just cool. Man, that didn't last long, did it? Alright, throttle back to idle. I think the rain has stopped. And we're uphill a little bit at 0.5. And let's slow it on down. Okay, we can see again a little bit. Looks like the worst of that storm is over. That game ended. The baseball game ended right at the right time. Our train is leaning a lot to the left. I think we have a flat tire. Ooh, nice. That was probably our best stop. Paint job is just great. Really looks nice. Cool colors too. Interesting retaining wall on our left here. Okay, let's go. Here's more detail. Oh, look at all the stickers for handicap and restrooms. About 2 miles to go now to our next destination. .7 to go. Very relaxing now. There's not so much fog. It's definitely raining, misty, but oh, pretty bridge. And over the highway again. Okay, 0.9 miles to go. And we can go ahead and start pulling back on the speed and start our braking. Alright, about 600 yards to go. All the unique buildings along the route, all the little, especially residential homes, look incredibly unique. In Germany, all the locations in the game, factories kind of all look the same. In the UK and Germany, a lot of them can be made out of brick because they're older, especially in the UK, since they didn't suffer as much in some of the areas from the war. A lot of the German areas are rebuilt or modernized because of that, or just rebuilt because of modernization of concrete and steel. But it's great to see residential and like old style buildings like that too, which, you know, that could be very well in the UK and Germany or the US, that building we just passed. So I don't know, I'm just a big fan of where this game takes us on these rails. Like, it's not just about being in a location, hence Boston, but also like what that location means, what that rail line is like. Okay, we're gonna try to stop right where they've marked. There's a big leg spike there. I couldn't react as quickly as I'd like, but we'll see. Wait, where the hell are we loading from? Oh, we gotta unlock on right. We'd only be able to offload. Yeah, we kind of stopped where they wanted us to, a little over, but that still would have been way over the platform. Wow, I can't even see anyway. Yeah, the platform's way back there. I think that marker will need to be moved back a little bit, otherwise that's too far of an offshoot. We need to unlock right still. There we go. Yeah, it's all good. Things work for the most part, and you know, there's always updates. And that is another thing too that I've seen over the years, is that, you know, things get patched and reworked, and additions added for new trains, and things get polished, and you know, that's why we're on the 5th iteration of this game now, where new things are improved, and sometimes things have to be rebuilt from the ground up, but then they kind of convert over, so it's kind of nice. Oh, look at all that. Hey, somebody with rolling luggage. All right. I think I saw that before and I forgot to mention, but that's kind of like the first time I've seen that. Rain's back. What a day. Boy, that rain's aggressive. And about another mile to go. So it looks like most of the stations here are about a mile or two between each other. And if we were on an express train, it seems like we'd be going around 80 to 60 miles per hour for most of that route. And then we'll go ahead and throw on the brake. But again, with these kind of narrow valleys that we're in, and these narrow stations, and all this rain, you got to be a real pro to do this one, like, first try. Without any extra help. The challenge. Okay. Now, where are we at so far? Okay. We're almost to Farmingham. And I don't know if we'll be stopping at each location. But we'll see. It'll probably be another mile. 1.3 up. Okay, 1.2 to get to Wellesley Square, track 1. Cool bridge there. I'm in love with every bridge that crosses this train line. Whether or not it has cars or bikes or pedestrians, that's just neat. I like it. Alright, 400 yards to go. So that one, well, we were right on the money on that one, right on the nose, and will that door open there? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we should be stopping way before the state. That makes this scenario difficult because we stopped where it was indicating, but we can't really see where the station is. 1, it's our first time playing. 2, tons of rain. 3, we were just doing as we were told. But it's okay. People don't really mind too much walking in the dirt. It's okay. People here have grit. They're tough. It's all good. Oh, hold on. Okay, 2.7 to get to Natick Center track 1. Now we got a little ways to go. 2.7. Big distance now. the sounds on the exterior are very nice. I mean, realistic. I don't know about the screeching, but you know what I mean. Nice to hear. Okay, almost got up to 60 that time. And we're going up at a 0.6 grade, so I'll kind of just let it coast on in. Couple more trees here. We're like in a forested area. Compared to being by the stadium, yeah. Neat looking station though. I think we might be on to our last stop. West Natick Track 1. Let's see where we're at here. Oh, one more to go. After that, it'll be the final last stop. A pretty good estimate on this taking about an hour. I think we'll be a little above that. Because we're going a little slower from all this rain and fog, but still pretty good time. I mean, I'm having a good time. Are you? Wait a minute. Wait. You didn't just skip to the middle of this video, did you? Wow, look, as I said, wait a minute. Even the train waited. You didn't skip all that just to get to this point, did you? You watched the whole thing? Oh, you go back to the beginning now. If you just skipped here, oh, do you believe that? Skipping all that quality content? I couldn't imagine. I don't even want to think about it. All right, 2 miles. All right. Man, once we get up to 60 miles an hour, though, the distance really closes in. But I like to slow down early since some of these stations are very fun. They're challenging. Especially in this weather condition, but I accept that. I like it. Now, there were some other scenarios that would take an hour and a half or so, and that they're on a much longer route. But the weather in those scenarios would probably be different. Probably got to be some in here with snow in the midst of winter, and then most of them, I'd imagine, in the summer, and then probably some at night. we got a ways to go. $23 miles per hour. And we're just going to kind of coast here. And I'm going to try to go for much earlier than that marker. All the lights here look nice. That's cool. That was good. Welcome. 7:27 p.m. Well, that's accurate. That's cool. Now, big thing to note. Do you think that clock will change to 7:28 at the same time the one in the upper left corner of the screen does? Got about 5 seconds to find out. Let's see. Game of the year. A few more meters. Wow. It's been raining the whole time. Now what I'd like to do is go the opposite direction and take people from here back to the stadium. Okay, let's bring it to a stop. That's nice. Did I just hear a duck? Unlock right. Is there a pond down there? Okay. So set brake to whoop. Handle off. There we go. Alright, we got him home in good time. Your colleague took over the train to run it back to Southampton Street Yard. Good. Ooh, a Steam achievement. Alright, and that was just for completing the home run, I guess you could call it. Nice. Alright, a little speedy here. And then towards the end as well. I don't remember that at all. All good though. So yeah, we got a gold medal for that. We could only do platinum if we kind of just narrowed out the speed here. That probably would have given it that, and then knowing about slowing down at the end. All right, that's it for today. Hope to see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Well, what'd you think? Train Sim World 5 out now, of course, and all the new content you've seen is out now too. So check down below in the description again for more information on Train Sim World 5, all the DLCs you've seen today, and stuff that's out now that we haven't showcased, as well as things in the future. So I'll see you all next time. Thanks again for subbing. Again, check down below, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for leaving a like. Take care. Bye-bye.